Hello and welcome to the Happy Families podcast. A couple of weeks ago, we were asked the question, why did you decide to homeschool your kids? How's it all going? Should we do it? Like, how do you make that kind of decision? And we got a fairly substantial response from a lot of people who are interested. One of my picks, one of my predictions, my trend for 2026 is that the homeschooling situation is going to continue to rise and that schooling is going to become continually individualized as families struggle with issues around bullying and the associated challenges that school can present for a lot of children. Well, today we're answering one of your tricky questions, and it extends the conversation further. A mum who's thinking it's time for homeschooling, but I just don't know what I'm supposed to do. That is our conversation today on the Happy Families podcast. Stay with us. Hello, welcome to the Happy Families podcast, where you get real parenting solutions every single day. This is Australia's most downloaded parenting podcast, so I appreciate listening. Thanks for being here. Every Tuesday on the pod, we answer your tricky questions about pretty much whatever you want. You can ask us anything. We love talking about stuff, especially as it relates to family and relationships and well-being and screens and school and discipline, and the list goes on. If you'd like to submit a tricky question, we've got a super simple system at happyfamilies.com.au. Just scroll down to podcasts, click the record button, start talking. It's literally that simple. Or send us a voice note to podcasts at happyfamilies.com.au, just like this mum from New South Wales Central Coast.
Hi guys, it's Lisa from the Central Coast. You're right, Justin. This is such a great place to live. I'm just out at the water watching the kids play as we speak, and it is awesome. This question is more for Kylie, I guess. We are about to start homeschooling our 5-year-old, and I'd love to hear more about what your days look like. How do you structure your days thinking about homeschooling and everything else in life? Look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
So first of all, I grew up on the New South Wales Central Coast, hence the reference there, and it did sound a little bit blissful and idyllic, didn't it?
Well, she also made using the website sound ridiculously easy.
Yeah, here I am, sitting on the beach, watching the kids and leaving a voice note via happyfamilies.com.
It's that easy, guys.
It's super simple. One more point on this. I feel like I've just been given the day off. I think this is your podcast. I'm just going to sit back, relax, and hand it over to you.
Well, I am going to say the days that you take control of the notes, they're a lot easier to read than my handwritten scrawl. So let's see how we go.
Right.
I was doing the maths. We have been homeschooling now for nearly 3.5 years.
Yeah, wow.
And
hadn't thought of that.
I am still feeling completely inadequate to answer Lisa's question. I'd love to give you like a prescribed day.
No, that's called school.
But that's what school is, exactly. Every single day in our house looks different. In the beginning, I had this grand plan that we would, school from 9 till 11 or whatever the time frame was. It really is not important, but that we would have some regimented structure to our day. But again, that's what school does. Homeschooling is this beautiful opportunity for us to be really flexible in the way we learn, because some kids actually will learn really good in the morning. Other kids will learn better in the afternoon once they've got all their wriggles out. Like, every child is going to be different.
And every day as well. But there is still some structure to what you do.
There is. So I thought instead of giving you like a plan of what our day looks like, that I might just kind of cheat a little bit, Lisa, and give you 4 tips that have made the biggest difference to my homeschooling journey.
Every now and again when I put a list together, you count me through it. I'm so excited to say, what's number 1?
Number 1 is take it slow. When I first pulled the kids out, I was so scared. I was scared I was going to destroy their education, for starters.
Yeah.
I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what to expect, and nor did my child.
We were pretty gung-ho. Like, you've got to do this many hours. You've got to do all this stuff. Like, we were fully, here is the strict regimen that you have to follow so that we can do everything perfect. Like, at the start, we were pretty intense about it. We've loosened up a little bit.
Just a little. Just a little. But I think the thing that really resonates with me at the moment is the acknowledgement that Rome wasn't built in a day. You're starting something entirely new. And the great thing is you actually get to decide what that looks like. There isn't a prescribed way. There isn't one way to do it. And you don't have to have it all worked out on day one. It's going to take you weeks, maybe even months. For me, I feel like the first year and a half was kind of all trial and error. I was actually learning how to work with my child and she was learning how to work with me. And that was really important for me to grasp. So that kind of leads into number 2.
Oh, can I say it? What's the second one?
Number 2 is actually about being gentle to yourself and to your child, because you're navigating completely new territory, and not only new territory, but you're taking on a new role in their life. Up until this moment, you've been mum. And now you're going to be teacher as well. And that responsibility and that relationship changes a little bit as you navigate that space together. And so for me, what has been really helpful has been trusting my own instincts and recognizing that as her parent, there are some things that I know about her that nobody else knows about her. She has strengths, but she also has challenges. And if I can work to her strengths and kind of support her more in her challenge spaces, then we're going to have a much better experience together. I think it's also really important to remember that this is a huge, huge learning curve for the two of you. And just like any new relationship, there's going to be some time for you to work out the kinks. Homeschooling relationship is no different.
Yeah, I mean, I'm listening to what you're saying, and I love this idea of you work it out, you go slowly. The great news is you've got a whole lot of time to make a whole lot of mistakes, and if you try to make it perfect, you're just going to put unnecessary pressure on yourself, especially if you're starting at the beginning.
Well, the great thing for Lisa is her child has no concept
of what school's going to be.
Of what school looks like, right? Yeah. So when COVID hit, Emily was 6. She was in her first grade 1.
Yeah.
They sent home the schoolwork, and I knew straight away that this was not going to inspire, excite.
Yeah, because it wasn't homeschool, it was school at home.
And so I just took on a really creative flair. So she had to, write her alphabet letters. So each week there was a different letter. So I got her scrapbooking. So she would go through magazines and find pictures of words that started with that letter. She loved filling them up. And then when we would cook with the letters, and just everything we did was about that specific letter.
As they get older, obviously you don't get to have, you can still have a lot of creativity, but the assignments become a little bit more academically oriented.
Yes.
But you can still be creative, you can still have fun, and by then they're used to working at home and getting the job done. Now, this is the part where we take a quick break, and at this point I always say what's coming up after the break is a hook.
But you don't know.
Or a tease. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to say. So after the break, a couple more things that will help any parent considering homeschooling their child. That's the bit where you sort of do the hook.
Oh, you want me to okay.
But tease. You don't give it all away. You just tease it.
So we're going to talk about community matters. And we're also going to talk about trying new things.
Stay with us. We're back. It's the Happy Families podcast. Another tricky question, as per normal. On a Tuesday, we answer your tricky questions. Today, Lisa from the Central Coast wants to know, if I start homeschooling my child this year, what am I supposed to do? Kylie, you've got 4 things for us. We've covered off the first 2. What's next?
Community matters. Connecting with other homeschooling families is such an integral part to the positive experience that you will have as a family.
And great news, there are more people doing it than ever before, so it's easier and easier to find people who are your people doing this.
So I learnt this the hard way. After Emily's, probably her first half of the year, she'd been working with a small group and they had been catching up 1 to 2 times a week. And she was really enjoying it, but it got a bit tedious in that they were doing the same things.
It started to get repetitive, yeah.
Activities over and over again. And we were going on a holiday, so I pulled her out for the holiday period. And when we came back, she didn't ask me about the group. And so I kind of looked at her and I was like, oh, it's costing me a lot of money to send her. And I think that we might just see how we go without it. We probably did about 6 to 8 weeks without a group. And at that point, that meant she was not doing any social activities at all. And one day we had the biggest emotional meltdown that she'd had all year. And she begged me to send her back to school. And I was like, where is this coming from? And so I sat down with her and I said, I am really happy to talk to you about going back to school if that's what it is. I said, but can we just kind of look at this a little bit more? Can we explore this a bit more? I said, is it school that you miss? Is it teachers and sitting at your desk and writing, or is it your friends? And she just sobbed. She said, I just miss my friends. I just miss my friends. And so I realized really quickly that I needed to find help and fast. And so I did what I think anyone would do in my situation. And I stalked Facebook and I put out an SOS into the universe of homeschooling families and said, we're desperate. We need a group. And within maybe, 10 or 15 minutes, I had 3 different mums tell me about a group that was 3 minutes from our house and they met once a week. That has been the biggest lifeline of Emily's schooling experience.
Yeah,
so
I'd say
far.
over the last 18 months, all of her besties are there. She loves being with those people, and it's branched into other activities and other relationships. Like it's been, once you find the group, it's easy.
And the great thing about having homeschooling relationships is you're doing life similar. So even though your homeschooling day will look different, they're available during the day. Whereas she was trying to fit into her schooling friends, her old school friends, and their lifestyles didn't fit with her.
They weren't available 9 to 3. They had their extracurriculars in the afternoon. Yeah.
And it was just really hard.
So what's the last one?
The last one is being open to trying something new. So like I shared at the beginning, I had this kind of conceived idea, this perception of what homeschooling was going to look like. And essentially, I was bringing school, like the classroom, into my dining room. And it didn't work. It didn't work on any level. Emily hated me. She didn't want to learn at all. And I was miserable. I didn't want to be doing this and I didn't want to be fighting with her all the time. But I knew that her being home was the right decision, but I also was desperate to send her back to school in those moments because it was just so hard. So being open to trying new things, open to talking with other families, seeing what's working for them, what's not working for them. It might mean that I don't think in Lisa's situation she's going to have this, but for families that have already been in the school system, it might mean literally having a term of no learning, structured.
Did we do 6 months? I think we did 2 terms where we pretty much said to our 2 homeschool kids, it's just a 6-month holiday.
Well, it wasn't quite 6 months. We took them out at the end of term 3, so they had all of term 4 and then the big holiday break.
Yeah, so we gave them like, what's that, like 16 weeks, something like that. So it was 4 months. And then when we hit the ground the next year, they were ready. They were like, yeah, we can get into this. And it made a massive difference. Homeschooling is just, for us, something that we're so glad that we've done. And I don't know if we'll ever send her back to school. I mean, every now and again, we're like, we really need a break. It would be good to have her at school from 9 to 3.
I'm not going to lie. There are definitely days where I wish that I had my days to myself.
Yeah.
But knowing what your why is, knowing why you're doing it is so important because when those days do get hard, you go back to that and you remind yourself of why.
Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, said, and I'm paraphrasing, he who has a why can live with any how. In other words, you can push through whatever you've got to push through if you've got a really good purpose driving it. And I feel like that's why we do what we do, at least with that particular daughter. Hey, thanks for the question. If you have a tricky question that you'd like to throw... Oh, sorry, before I do that. Hey, Kylie, thanks for running the podcast for me. I still feel like I talked too much. I'll have to give you another one and try and stay quieter.
We'll give it a go another day, hey?
Okay. Send your questions to Kylie. Tricky questions via podcasts at happyfamilies.com.au if you'd like to email or send a voice note, or use the super simple system at happyfamilies.com.au, just like Lisa did from the beach on the Central Coast, and let us know what it is that you'd like us to help out with. The Happy Families podcast is, as always, produced by the wonderful Justin Rulon from Bridge Media with additional support and admin from Mim Hammonds. If you want more info to make your family happier, you can check out happyfamilies.com.au, where we have an amazing course to help families raising ADHD kids. It's all there at happyfamilies.com.au. Talk to you tomorrow.